Thanks to the recent release and success of Denis Villeneuve's Dune Part 2, a whole new wave of fans has been exposed to Frank Herbert's long-treasured universe. Longtime fans and brand new audiences alike have seemed to express overwhelmingly positive feedback for the film, and more people than ever are finally reading one of the most iconic science fiction novels of all time. With the new influx of travelers visiting the world of Arrakis, many questions have arisen from those not intimately familiar with Dune lore. As a world with many intricate details and rules, this universe can prove overwhelming for the uninitiated. One of the most common questions involves the near-complete absence of artificial intelligence from the Dune universe. This, of course, hails back to the distant history of Dune and the Great War known as the Butlerian Jihad, in which humanity purged itself of so-called thinking machines. This subject, however, has become particularly polarizing for the long-time Dune fans, and today we will explore why. Welcome to the world of the Sci-Fi Guy, with futurist and science fiction author Patrick Lightson. In his original 6 Dune novels, Frank Herbert was quite clear on his intentions with the Butlerian Jihad. This great struggle of man versus machine was not so much implied to be a direct war between humans and robotic artificial intelligences, but rather a philosophical struggle against the machine reliance that culminated in violence between various factions of humanity. In these texts, it is heavily indicated that many independent groups had become entirely dependent on artificial intelligence, advanced technology, and machinery to get through even the most mundane day-to-day existence. The Butlerians saw the inherent flaw in this reliance and began pushing humanity toward self-development through mental conditioning, internal reflection, and, of course, cognitive prescience involving ingestion of chemicals, eventually to include the coveted spice melange. This paved the way for organizations like the Zensunni, the Bene Gesserit, and the Mentats to form and thrive without competition from machine intelligence, and allowed factions like the Spacing Guild, CHOAM, and the Lanzarad an even firmer grip on open society. This approach was balanced, novel, and nuanced enough to form a critical foundation for the many rules and conditions we find in the present-day Imperium at the start of Dune. The reason we see a complete lack of artificial intelligence is simple. More than 10,000 years of religious, social, and political conditioning have formed a society that values the inherent power of the human mind much more highly than the crutch that was artificial computation, even if the true extent of that power can only be unlocked through chemical stimulants. Human computers, or mentats, fill nearly every bureaucratic role in the Imperium, and their well-tested mental capacity for logic and problem-solving is easily equivalent to artificial variance without the need for a lazy humanity to allow machines to do such work for them. Guild navigators, even with their distorted, spice-bloated forms, perform precisely the duties of navigational AIs, with prescient vision as opposed to predictive algorithms. By casting away the crutch of machine dependence, human civilization was truly able to enter a new era of self-reliance and pave the way for the inescapable golden path of Leto II Atreides. But why on Caladan would this be controversial? Unfortunately, Frank Herbert passed away in 1986, 11 months after publishing Chapter House Dune, the 6th installment in the series. Obviously, this was devastating for avid fans of his work, and an eerie prospect for fans of contemporary works like A Song of Ice and Fire. Yet, all hope was not lost. Frank's son, Brian Herbert, partnered with fellow science fiction author Kevin J. Anderson to finish writing the series. And write they did. In the decades since Frank Herbert's passing, this pair has produced no less than 17 additional installments to the beloved Dune universe. The problem? Many adherents to the canon of the original 6 books believe that each subsequent installment has been worse than the last. Whether that is true or not remains up to the reader. For better or worse, Brian and Kevin keep writing, and someone keeps buying the books. Still, there are some creative decisions made by these authors that have objectively changed the trajectory and intent of the original plot, in a direction which I, personally, believe to be much worse. In their 2002 novel, Dune, the Butlerian Jihad, the titular conflict is transformed from Frank's original version of a philosophically driven war of ideology into a Terminator-style battle between humans and big, scary robots. You heard me right, folks. We went from one of the most original science fiction ideas of the 20th century, in which humanity willingly and, in some cases forcefully, shrugs off the support of advanced machine intelligence in favor of building a better, more intrinsically powerful human race, to the plot of a dozen cheesy action flicks all compiled into one. As a huge fan of the franchise, this is frustrating to say the least. I won't speak toward the motivations behind this decision, nor to some of the other questionable creative choices these authors have employed. However, I will note that, along with many other readers, I generally only recognize the first 6 original Frank Herbert books as canon. While the other books often make decent science fiction, many choose to read them as interesting but flawed speculation, or, like me, just ignore them entirely. Due to his untimely death, we will never know the original Mr. Herbert's exact intentions with the series. This is an unfortunate truth that we, as fans, have to live with. However, even simply drawing from his 6 completed novels, we have a whole wealth of entertainment to explore from the exciting universe of Dune. And believe me, it only gets weirder after Book 1. So tell me, what do you think? Was the original concept of the Butlerian Jihad bastardized in non-Frank novels? Or were the new installments an improvement? What do you think were Brian Herbert's motivations for continuing his father's series with Kevin J. Anderson? Did the pair succeed in expanding the beloved universe of Dune? Or what could they have done to improve it more? Let me know in the comments. Additionally, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe for more science fiction content. As always, have a wonderful day, and never forget to shoot for the stars.